Hello, my name is Hillary Gentry. I'm going to be narrating the PowerPoint presentation portion of the partnership project that I worked on with my partner Heather Erb for our interpersonal communications course. The information in this presentation is based off of the research that we conducted following the theory of fundamental interpersonal relationship orientation. A lot of the information is going to be taken from our research paper and broken down to relate to a lot more real life situations and make it just a little bit easier to digest. So let's get started. In 1958, Dr. William Schultz came up with this theory to help us to really understand human interaction and the purposes that it holds. We look into three separate interpersonal needs that Schultz has identified to be the most important when focusing on what satisfies our human nature. These three interpersonal needs were inclusion, control, and affection. I'm going to take each one of these interpersonal needs and break it up so that we can look at some of the pros and cons and different sides to each need and how it is conducted in our everyday lives. Inclusion, which is the first of the interpersonal needs, focuses on the fact that we strive to really feel included into groups. We want to be recognized, accepted, and treated as an equal. We want to feel like our contributions as well as our presence is really important and crucial to a relationship. We need to feel as though even if we're being included for the right reasons. We don't want to feel as though some outside force is pushing people to include us, or maybe the fact that we have money or we have blonde hair and everybody else in the group has blonde hair or something like that. We want to feel as though the reasons that we are being included into a relationship or a group or an organization is because of our own personal contributions and our own personalized feelings and thoughts. Some examples of inclusion are getting picked in a gym class, getting invited to a slumber party, and those are kind of earlier stages of inclusion earlier on in life, but this inclusion can be carried on throughout our lives. So when you get a job and your company is considering your idea maybe for a big project, or if your wife is asking you what color you should paint the house. These all may seem like they're not big contributions, but the fact that someone's just including you into the process of things can really make a big difference in how we're feeling. Some other sides of inclusion would be the fact that sometimes you're not included or sometimes you're absent from a group. This is also part of inclusion in the study that we need to focus on. So when you are absent from a meeting, for example, you expect people to say, why were you gone? We really missed you in the meeting. We wish that you would contribute a little bit more. Do you have any ideas that can contribute to this? Or we missed having your humor there, or just personalize things. And if you don't feel that, if you don't have that kind of feeling of being reunited with a group or in a relationship, you may feel like you're not really part of that group or that relationship. You may not feel like you're needed, and maybe that you should be putting your efforts elsewhere. Control is the second of the interpersonal needs that Schultz focuses on. Here, he really says that we have to feel like we are in the driver's seat of our own thoughts and feelings. We can't feel brainwashed or like there's a puppet master pulling our strings. We have to be able to make our decisions, and those decisions need to be able to affect not only our own self, but our relationships as a whole. We need to be not only included in decision making, but need to be taken seriously. And there's a lot of things to consider when looking at control, because some people feel like they are only in control because of maybe their position that they were given, and other people feel like they just have to follow them even if they don't agree with their control. So people really want to feel as though the control that they're making is positively affecting their relationship and really making everybody feel comfortable. Some examples of control would be deciding where to go on vacation. Your company may be using that idea that you included in the inclusion process for that big project, or picking someone for the gym class. Having more control over a relationship and what is going on. Another side to control, some of the cons that can come with it, would be feeling out of control can make you feel inferior. And sometimes there are outside factors that contribute to the control in a relationship or in an organization. For example, maybe you have a boss or a counselor or someone like that that is really mediating your relationship, and that can create some structure, but in the end you need to be able to feel as though your thoughts and feelings aren't being ignored, because sometimes uh, those people that are mediating are really just focusing on the big picture rather than your individualized thoughts and needs. And over control can really do some serious emotional damage to a person. So you really have to feel like you're in control of your own life and the relationships that you're involved in. Affection or openness, the last part of this theory, it relates back to the positive interaction that you get from the first two portions of this. So through inclusion and through control, we start to feel like we can open up and feel warmth in a relationship. Affection and openness can be difficult to obtain if you're not completely comfortable and you haven't really kind of mastered the first two parts of this theory. You can find affection and openness in formal relationships, friendships, and most commonly romantic relationships. That's kind of just what people think of when they think of the word affection. Some examples of affectionness or affection or openness would be sharing personal information with a coworker, which is more of the formal side of things, or telling your partner you love them, which is more romantic, or just expressing to a group how much you appreciate all of their dedication that they've been working on in your organization. All of these can be really great examples of affection and openness. Other sides to affection or openness, some of the cons that can come with it, would be coming off too affectionate too soon, and that can really push people away and make them feel awkward. Some people may take your affection or openness as a weakness. Sometimes people need control and assertiveness to really feel like you are in control of your life, but that's not always the case. And as I said before, you typically need to cover the first two portions of this to really be taken seriously when being able to tackle affection or openness.